Hey people, before I continue with this particular news report here, just check how many people, politicians, in Victoria especially, you know, the state where everybody is in state of emergency, fucking disaster, fucking Lord knows what, okay? Apart from the fact, firstly, that the government of this country and the government of every country put the fear of God into everybody over this COVID crap, which is nothing more than flu, okay? But just check, in this state of Victoria, where everybody is in such a fucking mess because of Dan Bull Andrews, check and see how many people are wearing masks. People that are in the park going for a walk, if they don't have a mask, they're getting fined, okay? They're getting fined. Anybody, anywhere, is getting fined for not wearing a mask because you're a fucking health risk to everybody else. Okay? So just remember what I've said to you there. Now let's continue.
In the middle of a lockdown emergency, the Victorian government is faced with another crisis. Health Minister Jenny Mikakos quits. In a scathing letter posted to social media, she wrote, "In light of the Premier's statement to the Board of Inquiry and the fact that there are elements in it that I strongly disagree with, I believe that I cannot continue to serve in this cabinet. For 3 months, I had looked forward to learning who made the fateful decision to use security guards. I am deeply sorry for the situation that Victorians find themselves in. In good conscience, I do not believe that my actions led to them. I have never wanted to leave a job unfinished." Cracks began to surface this week at Victoria's hotel quarantine inquiry.
I would have had no reason to turn my mind to issues around security guards.
Parting shots at her department and Premier Daniel Andrews.
Political courage to admit that there are problems, that there have been mistakes made.
Her resignation now raising more questions than answers.
I did not speak with the Minister before she resigned, and I have not spoken to her since. She sent me a text. My judgment on that matter doesn't change the outcome. Whether I thought it appropriate or not, she resigned. She resigned this morning, and I believe that is the appropriate course of action.
Mental Health Minister Martin Foley was sworn in immediately.
Mental Health Minister was sworn in. Oh, good God. Good God. The people that are running these places, why couldn't they have put in a plumber or an electrician or just fucking anybody? Anybody. Mental health? Are you kidding me?
To take over the reins of the ministry under the microscope. And we are joined now by Justice Party leader Darren Hinch in Melbourne. Darren, very good morning to you. Someone, of course, had to take the fall here, but the question is whether Jenny Mikakos has become the sacrificial lamb or whether more hedge.
Someone had to take the fall. Why can't the fuckers that are responsible? It's not necessarily one fucker, because one guy can't do this on his own. Discussions are held. They hold meetings. They discuss this shit behind closed doors, okay? Behind closed doors. It's disgusting to see that one person is ever held fucking responsible. You just don't see it with politicians. You don't. You don't. You know, they can throw each other under the fucking bus. Do you ever see one of them go to jail? Are you ever going to see one of them be held accountable for the fucking actions or the part that they played in certain actions? Okay, let's go. Let's move further down. Hang on. Let's finish this up here. And plus two, Darren Hinch, I always thought that he was for the people, and yet when he's asked about which way his party is going to vote for that omnibus bill that is being put through, if you don't know what that is, go back and look at my last video. That's where Dan Bull Andrews wants to create his own military. You know, where the people police the people, where your neighbour who hates you can literally come over and have you locked up for simply the fact that he just can't stand your fucking face. But let's move on. Yeah, I can't understand how he can be even. Sorry, I got distracted there. I can't understand how he can say that they're going to be releasing their whatever that, you know, obviously they had, the party had to discuss this. Like, what is there to discuss? What is there to discuss? To me, if you're for the people, then this bill should not be fucking passed, period. To have people policing people so that they can blame people, so that people can blame each other. More hate, more fucking divide. Okay? Let's just fucking move on.
Virtually accused him of lying under oath at that board of inquiry.
Mask? No mask. You just saw Darren Hinch. It said Melbourne on top of him, so I'm assuming that was on the Melbourne streets. He's in the street, not wearing a mask. But every other person is getting fined for not wearing a mask. And they're not just getting fined, they're getting tased, they're getting thrown to the ground, they're getting abused, they're getting fucking attacked. And it don't even matter if it's the elderly that the police are doing it to. You've seen the videos. If you haven't, go back to the video before this one and have a look. To the extent that the police are literally getting in people's faces going, what part of fuck don't you get? He may as well have said that. Okay? He may as well have said that. Go see how the police in Victoria are talking to people now.
We've lost the health minister in the middle of a pandemic. She's not taking responsibility. She says she doesn't know who authorised it. Surely...
Left hand don't know what the right hand is doing. And yet they're always over cup of tea and a bun, you know? They're having their cup of tea, their coffee. All these government places stop for cup of tea, coffee, and some cake and bickies, while the taxpayer is paying for all of this. But when it comes to the crunch, I didn't know, I didn't know, I didn't know, I didn't know.
To goodness. A premier would have been told by his health minister or by his own department.
Did you just see that? The two of them there? No masks. No masks. And I don't want to hear this bullshit that they're inside. I don't want to hear this bullshit that they're standing X amount of feet apart. I don't want to hear the fucking bullshit anymore. I'm done with the bullshit. Because if this was you and me, or people from Victoria at the moment, okay, they would be fined. The cops would come storming in. Fucking cops on horseback. They would be thrown to the ground, these people. They would be arrested and fined for not wearing a mask. But hey, COVID's a picky bitch.
By his own department staff, if the Prime Minister had offered 700, 800, 900 defence personnel to help them out. And somebody made the decision that they would hire private guards, inept people hired on the internet.
No masks, but that's okay. They're exempt, right? Because they're politicians. They're the ones making the rules. So they don't have to. But they can point the finger at you and say, fucking comply, bitches. You're paying their salary.
And it cost hundreds of...
No masks. No social distancing.
of lives. I don't think the Premier can get out of this by just trying to.
That's probably the only time I ever saw him with a mask on, and I can guarantee you, once he got behind fucking closed doors, he'd be taking the bastard off.
Duck it. It really is. It really is a tough one.
Darren, I agree with you. And then the answers to those questions you posed, what did he know and when did he know it, is he says,
oh, look. No mask. Standing right there, obviously next to journalists, no mask. Where's his mask? Up his ass. He don't need one because he knows. It's just the flu. This was all just the flu, people.
he knew nothing and still.
Oh, look. He can smile. He hadn't got a care in the world. He hasn't got a care in the world. That bull, that narcissist, hasn't got a care in the world. He can do to you whatever the fuck you are allowing him to do. And that's what's going on. You are allowing it.
Does. So the question for all of the Victorians really now becomes, is that acceptable for the head of state? A $60 million program, and you have the Premier of the state saying, hey, listen, I just do not know who authorised.
Like I said, no mask. It says Melbourne up here. No mask. Okay, it doesn't matter that there's nobody else on the fucking street. I've seen people in a park get friggin' busted and handcuffed and thrown down on the ground for not wearing a fucking mask. But hey, like I said, COVID's a picky bitch.
That. What other money's being wasted, right, and why doesn't he know?
It's not so much the money to me. And more than 700 people have died. But when it's all over, questions have to be asked and have to be answered, because it's inconceivable to me that the Premier would not know.
No fucking masks anywhere.
And would not have approved what they did. I mean, they hired a Sydney-based Indigenous security firm who had something like 70 or 80 employees. They needed 1,700, so they just hired them off the internet.
So, Darren,
and
that
people
means,
died.
Sorry to jump in on you, but that means if he didn't know, what you're suggesting and what many Victorians might well believe is that the Premier rather, has lied to this inquiry. He did know and he lied.
He's full of shit. Okay? Dan Bull Andrews is just full of shit. But they're all full of shit. No mask.
Down for months. And the fact that there was no handover, that the departing health minister didn't even talk to the Premier, on both sides, on her side and his side, they're both wrong. We are in a crisis.
No masks. This is her letter of resignation. You know what gets me here? Something really bothers me, because if you read this slow and you listen to what you're reading, listen to your own voice, okay? I mean, apart from other things up here, but this is what got me the most. She's been apparently, because I haven't been really following that, but she's been apparently thrown under the bus, okay? And yet, now put yourself in this position, put yourself in her position, okay? If this happened to you. I thank Victorians for the privilege of serving them. I thank the Premier, who just threw her under the bus. My colleagues, who apparently never informed her of stuff. Same with her loyal staff. The Labor Party and broader Labor movement for their support. Is that something that you could see yourself doing if somebody pointed the finger at you for all the murders that have gone down in Victoria? Or would you come out and go, screw you, you asshole, this is everything that I know? I keep saying to you people, they're all in the same shit pool, okay? They're all in the same shit pool. They cover each other's asses. What else does she know that she's not coming out with? She'd rather have left her job than come out with their little dirty secrets, their discussions behind closed doors. But hey, that's just my opinion.